The entire closure of the state of Nevada and all of the gaming institutions and things that make Las Vegas great rests on the shoulders of one man, Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak. In this video, I'm going to talk about him and his opinion that might have actually changed in the last few days with his positive test that he had back, and I hope that he is going to recover speedily and rapidly. We're going to talk about the billion-dollar industry that stands in his way this time and the slew of lawsuits that would happen if such a thing did come to pass. Let's start the video and analyze the real aspects and prospects of a statewide Nevada closure in 2020 or 2021 for that matter. Out there, YouTube. My name is Steven and I am not leaving Las Vegas. I'm a Vegas blogger and I hope you guys would do me a favor if you like this video and I'm talking to you. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for the future notifications and leave a comment. Do you think, knowing what we know now, that lockdowns work? That's the question of the day that I will love to hear an answer back from you. Do you think that the lockdowns work? That's going to be something that's highly subjective and there's no wrong opinion on this because opinions are something that everybody's entitled to. Do you think the lockdowns work? Leave us a comment below. If you guys want to further support the channel, you can go over because those first things that I ask you to do cost you zero. It's great. Make a YouTube account. A lot of people watch me every day and they don't actually subscribe. Subscribing really helps. Commenting and liking really helps. You have to have an account for that. Also go over onto we have YouTube channel memberships. You can get your name in the credits, or depending on what level you're at, you can get different perks like videos. I posted up an entire video last week that never gets on YouTube, like 14 minutes long. We also have Patreon for that same purpose, whatever you like, whatever floats your boat. And you also have VegasFaceMask.com, the only two masks you'll ever need. We know we wear them out here. I know that I've been going to the Strip 100 times plus since we reopened. I probably passed a million different strangers. I am still C19 free, and that's a good thing. So maybe these things do stop and slow the spread a little bit, okay? No mess at the end, VegasFaceMask.com. So we have to talk about the unique challenges of a second Nevada shutdown. We had one, a lot of states had one, a lot of states didn't have one, and it looks like everybody is back in this exact same place they were back in April. If you shut down, if you didn't shut down, nothing's really changed for anybody. Steve Sisolak as well has recently sat down and told people stay at home Nevada 2.0. He's tried this in the past before. He asked non-essential services to shut down voluntarily. That didn't happen. After that didn't happen, he shut down everything by force, signing an executive order at the state level that made sure that people with non-essential businesses had to close or face business license suspension or face massive fines or a combination of the two. Now the fines come in the way of them going out randomly and checking on people. We call them the mask police out here. If the mask police come, they'd give you a citation. If you don't actually follow up on it, they come a second time, they give you a fine. The fines vary from thousands of dollars to tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on the size of the business. But we still haven't shut down right now. So what are the prospects we will? Well, in his last address, he said a number of things. One thing that irked me very much was that he said bloggers aren't taking things seriously, stay at home. A lot of you guys might criticize us for showing you the city. I look at it like creating awareness for a brand that would fade if we didn't actually promote it, and I love this town very, very much. He also said that Nevada has to stay home 2.0, meaning that I'm not closing everything down right now, but if you live here, you should stay at home. If you live here, you should do curbside pickup. Don't go to the restaurant, don't go to the bar, don't go to browse the Best Buy if you don't have to. Pick something up, order it online, get it in your car. He said if things don't change in 2 weeks, that we might be facing some severe consequences. I don't think that means what people think it's going to mean, but I think it would damage the economy. I think he would be talking about bars, gyms, beauty salons, nail salons, things where people get close with you shutting down. I think he would shut those things down before he shut down the Strip. Additionally to that, it's like a stern talking to every time he gets with us. You know, in school, I wasn't the best student. I was very, very smart, but I never seemed to really get along very well with other kids or the teachers, and I was always raising heck. And because of that, I had a stern talking to from the principal now and then. And that's what Steve Sisolak's addresses have become lately. It's just a stern talking to. You guys got to sit down and straighten up. Straighten up and fly right. That kind of thing. But after he gave us his last, straighten up and fly right address to the state, he himself contracted C19 virus. Now, I hope that he is going to recover fully. I don't want anybody to get hurt by this. He has mild symptoms, a little bit of a cough and nothing else. At least that's the last news report. He's quarantining at home with the best doctors around him, but it goes to show that maybe his position on everything will change right now because he is one of the most cautious people in the entire state, I imagine. He has a team of doctors that follow him around and put him into low-risk situations on a daily basis. He has the best medical advice possible to him. You have to to suppose that he hired the best people. I certainly hope so. So will his opinion change on everything after he chastised everybody for going out unnecessarily and told bloggers they're part of the problem and take this seriously? We take it very seriously, Steve. I take it very seriously when I see that we all are going to lose our livelihoods if we have to shut down again. Additionally to that, we pose an interesting hypothesis to what would happen in a second shutdown scenario. You see, under the first shutdown, everybody did things based on emotion and fear. I did that video about fear versus faith yesterday. It was very different. You might want to check that video out. But he operated on fear just like everybody else did at the time of the shutdown. We all did. Most of you did. Some of you guys didn't, and I give you kudos for that. Shutting down last time was a fear-based thing. He admitted in different straighten up and fly right sessions that he had with us that he might have overreacted in some cases, okay? He said, I might have closed down industries that shouldn't have been closed down, especially when the bars industry, for example, was over a 96% adherence to social distancing and mask protocols. That being said, a shutdown a second time would pose a unique set of lawsuits, I believe, from casinos and other related industry that would get together and say, wait a minute, you already set precedent for admitting that these things don't really work. Why are you doing this again? This is our industry. We can't tolerate this. They would argue their compliance rate based on their track record, which is all recorded in with the state. They would argue that they shouldn't have to suffer the economic hardships of a shutdown and that they were being targeted industries. But moving on and pursuant to that, would he even target the casino industry? See, in his last Straighten Up and Fly Right session, he certainly didn't. He told people to actually still come to the state of Nevada, wear your gloves, wear your mask. You can get them on VegasFaceMask.com, obviously. Those are the best, but the casinos will provide them to you even if you can't do that. They'll give you mask after mask after mask. Ask for 10 of them, you'll get 10. So when people are coming in and doing all those things that he says, and he's on the other hand telling people to shut down specific industries if we don't get our numbers down in the next few weeks, I don't think that he is serious about the whole entire proposition of the entire state shutting down. I think he knows that there's going to be an election in a few years and he's going to be back up. I think he's also aware that we have a second recall Sisolak petition, a second petition. This petition is going to last as long as it lasts. I think it has several months to get to the signatures that it needs. And if he were to shut us down again, those signatures would shoot right up. I know people would be crawling over broken glass in order to fill those petitions out this time. We're not as afraid of this thing as we were back in March when it shut down. Back in March, he needed just a little bit more in terms of those signatures. Well, actually, it was a lot more, but the shutdown helped him not get those petition signature goals. A recall election would put his entire political career in jeopardy. But who knows? The state actually voted for the guy, and maybe they would vote for him again and not fill out the recall a second time. But I imagine that that's on his mind, too, when it comes to shutting down the most lucrative industry in this entire state. So do I think a second shutdown is coming? No, I don't. I think a second shutdown, especially one of the casinos, would bring out billion-dollar companies with $100 million lawyers. Well, maybe million-dollar lawyers. I don't know how much lawyers get paid. Do you? Give us a comment below. I think those lawyers would argue probably successfully and tied up in courts for a very long time that any kind of a shutdown would be unconstitutional. And then we would be in the same position that a couple of states have been in. I believe Wisconsin argued for this successfully and cannot be shut down again. So maybe a second shutdown challenge would be something that would keep us open forever. Maybe a second shutdown challenge would fail. But I know one thing, a second shutdown would destroy our economy and turn this place into a ghost town. So I'm certainly hoping it doesn't happen. And that's my thoughts on that. And I'm curious what you think about it. Do you think these things work when we do them? Do you think second shutdowns work? I don't think that lockdowns are going to work to help people out. I think it's a thing that's going to go from pandemic to epidemic. And as we get vaccines that people are willing to take, I think that it's going to be something that we talk about years from now when we say, wow, do you remember the craziest year in history where that C-19 thing made everybody panic? And it turned out that we had the capacity in us to come together as a society and make everything work, and we're still here. I think that's the ultimate end goal of all of this. But I'm Steven, and I'm not leaving Las Vegas, and I'm a Vegas blogger. I hope you guys would like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for the future notifications. If you want to support the channel, head on over to VegasFaceMask.com. Now shipping internationally with all different colors and things like this. I just added a bunch to the website yesterday. I hope you guys would check those designs and patterns out. Hit us up on the VegasFaceMask.com Facebook page. Just type in VegasFaceMask.com like it's a web address and you'll find us. Now's the time of the video where I say like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I say 3, 2, 1, click. So you're ready? I'm going to get close to the camera. Hopefully I'm in focus, and I say 3, 2, 1, and oh yeah. I'm going to change this up over time. I just had to film this today because it's kind of windy outside. Nobody wants to hear wind noise, but I'm looking to change up the studio. I'm looking forward to that. 3, 2, 1, and are you ready for this? Click.